Today I am going to be showing you how to get really, really good at improvising as fast as possible and pretty much going from beginner to pro. This is the strategy that I wish someone told me when I first started improvising, start learning playing guitar, doing all that thing. And it will not be learn scales. I'm just telling you right away, don't play scales. That's just such a straight up waste of time. That is your nugget, your 30-second nugget right off the bat. Now, if you're new here, my name is Luan. I'm a professional musician. I graduated from Berklee with a scholarship, and we have a free online music school where we give away as much practical music education as possible, and this is part of our improvisation course. So if you are struggling and you are like, hey, I don't know how to go from being someone, like let's even say you're just like straight up beginner and you're just like, I have no idea what I'm doing. This is all sounding bad. Or if you are, say, more intermediate, getting towards the professional stage, and you're just like, my solos are just not connecting with people. So wherever you fit within that spectrum, this is pretty much for you. So there's 4 things that we're going to go through, and 2 of them I can like directly help you with by like a massive shortcut. But 2 of them are more a you thing, and they're more like subjective on how you want to approach them. So the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to tackle vocal melody rhythms. We are not going to be jumping into guitar licks. We're not going to be jumping into scales. We're not going to do anything like that. If you want to get good at communicating really, really nice melodic ideas, you should start with great melody rhythms from pop songs. Or very successful songs at that. Like I'm saying, like grab a Beatles tune and then take the vocal part and then learn the vocal rhythm. And when like to extract it to its like quickest level. I mean, the song that is just stuck in my head at the moment is just Shape of You by Ed Sheeran. So I'm in love with the shape of you. Da 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 da. So I just take that rhythm. Da 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 da. Get that in my right hand. And then say I'm in the key of this. I'm in the A minor pentatonic land. Straight away, there is some kind of groove happening there. And then immediately I can alternate it by like pushing it and making it more swing. So you can just kind of like be creative with it. The reason why I say start here is the people who are writing these melodies are the best. If you are listening to a top hit song that during any era of music, I don't care what music you like. It could be Taylor Swift, it could be Eddie Van Halen, whatever you care about, the vocal melody that you are listening to on these hit records are some of the best melodies ever written. So don't start trying to copy a guitar solo or trying to copy like some chord scale or whatever someone tells you to do. Jump in and start taking melodies and stealing their rhythms, because the rhythms can be applied through any key and do whatever you want. And like it doesn't matter where on the pentatonic scale you jump in on the rhythm, and it's immediately going to make you start sounding way, way cleverer than you might think you are. And people are going to be like, man, that's actually really catchy. And it's like, wow, imagine stealing the catchiest melodic rhythms and then applying it to your solos. You know, that's a really, really great foundation to be creative. Now, this is the most underrated hack I've ever done. Like, as soon as I started doing this, boom, my solos started getting so much better. I actively don't practice guitar currently, but whenever I do jump into a bit of guitar practice, as soon as I like start applying a few new vocal melodies that I've been thinking about or singing regularly on streams, it just completely changes the tune. It just like the improv just gets so much better. And yeah, this is like a super fast fix. Like if you just, because you all will know great songs. If you are playing an instrument, you have heard great songs, and there's songs that like move you, songs that you love, whether it's like your family has listened to them, or you grew up with them, or you know you go to a hair salon and you listen to Maroon 5 all the time, because Maroon 5 just, I don't know why every time I go Actually, no, I go to a barber now, and then they listen to lots of punk rock. So, yeah. Whatever it is, there's lots of influences that will help you out. So give it a good crack and see how you go with that one. So that's the first step. Now, the second and third step, I can help you completely with this. Learn music theory. And when I say learn music theory, I'm not saying like big bad boss music theory. I don't want you to go and get a college degree in music theory or have to go through like some extensive program or go get a like music teacher to get music theory. I have built a free music theory course based on practical education. It's kind of like breaking down everything I ever learned at Berklee and everything I've practically used on stage because I'm a professional. That's what I do. Because a lot of theory is super waste of your time. But you just need to learn basic theory. And I have the whole course through systems of like, if you know nothing, you can figure it out. It's really, really simple and easy. A lot of people have been crushing it. So just learn basic theory, because the basic theory you need to know is what are triads? How can I build chords so that I know what is actually consisting of them? Because when you start improvising and you know a bit more about what is actually in the chords that are being played, when you start improvising over the top of them, you can start targeting what we call chord tones, and then that will start to make you sound even more connected to the music. So now you're using catchy vocal rhythms that you already know. And when you start improvising, you are like connecting immediately to the music with the groove. And like if you've been following our music theory course, our improvisation course, you would have learnt skills to like connect to the groove and do all that kind of stuff and be more like bring in the vibe into your solos. And so then you pair that with understanding how the chords are actually working and which notes work under which chords. And then you're like, oh my God, I'm on fire. And that's when people really start to notice what you're doing. And you're going to start to be like, wow, that solo wasn't bad. Like, it might not be the best, but it wasn't bad. And that's a great place to be. Don't ever think you need to be the best. Just don't be bad. And then you'll feel a lot better. That's where I look at it. I'm like, that wasn't bad. That was listenable. People will enjoy that. I'm stoked with that. I mean, always work towards like as best as you can get, but you know, we want to get out of the bad zone. We want to get out of the place where it's like you are not connecting to the music, you are not listenable, you are not being creative, you are not being able to like articulate an idea that you might think sounds cool. So that's why I want you to get into music theory. And once you learn the triads and you understand how the chords are working, and functional harmony, that's pretty much the parts that we kind of really want to know, then you're basically off to the races. It's going to completely unlock your soloing. And then following up the music theory thing is step 3. Once you kind of understand like the basic music theory, like you've literally gone through an hour of my course and you will understand enough, like learn the cage system. If you're a guitarist, cage system is the biggest hack that you'll ever get in your entire life. And the following videos inside the improvisation course are going to be like fully deep diving on how we can use the cage system over the pentatonic scale. So I will have it all there for you. It's super easy to do. And if you're like wondering where this course is within our online music school, I'll just pin it in the YouTube comments so you can just go wherever you want and you can jump back into it. Now, the cage system is going to allow you, if you don't know what the cage system is, we use like the open chord shapes of like C, A, G, E, D. And so like, and we use those chord shapes and our understanding of where like all the, like the root, third, fifth and blah, 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 and all the infrastructure of how those chords are built. And we use them to find where all the notes are on the fretboard and to basically be able to build arpeggios, build scales and whatever we want to do. Now, when you're improvising over the pentatonic scale and you have the cage system, it becomes really, really easy to find where, you know, useful chord tones are going to be. Like, so say I'm playing in G minor, right? And the chord progression is like, it's like a G minor, and then it's got like a, I don't know what that is, B flat. So we got G, we call it B flat. So we got a G minor, B flat, and then a C chord. So say that's our chord progression. Well, I got my G minor here, so if I use the E shape, which you guys would already kind of know, because like that's kind of like minor pentatonic, easy peasy. But then you get this B flat, right? Now, if I get this B flat and I find where another B flat is, right here, and I use the G shape, so I'm using the G shape to find the B flat there, or say I'm moving into a different kind of pentatonic shape over here. Boom. Man, why does the guitar always go out of tune? It's so frustrating. We had floods here, and I live in North Queensland, so we just had floods, and like all the moisture is like going crazy in here. So it's like this thing just got thrown out of whack. But I'm not going to retune it, so I'm really sorry if you have perfect pitch. Your life is miserable right now. And then we move up to the C, and so you can see once I hit the C chord here, I'm like, okay, well, where's another C note around the fretboard, and like, what can I do? Well, there's a C right here. Sorry, there's a C chord right there, and so I can build my A shape here. So if I'm playing here there, so go E minor shape, and then we got this chord. That's my another E shape over here. And then we got a C, but on that C chord, I can do my A shape here. And one thing you'll notice is that in this like progression that we're doing, when I hit this C, because I'm articulating the A shape of the C, I'm naturally playing the Dorian, which is very, very nerdy stuff. If you don't know any of this stuff, don't worry. It's all in the theory course. But you can see how just like I know a bit of basic theory, and then I apply the cage system, and I can immediately articulate a complex thing like modes that a lot of advanced players still don't really understand how to do properly, you know? So it's like, that is the power of the caged. And all I'm using is my E minor knowledge here, E major knowledge here, and then my A knowledge here. And then I'm articulating my minor pentatonic, minor pentatonic again. And then I got my Dorian. So it's like super, super powerful. Now, that's the first three steps. The fourth step, and this is the step that I told you not to do at the beginning of the video, but this is like after you've done all those steps, I will now allow you to go and start learning licks. Go learn cool solos, cool riffs of your favorite guitarists, and you are unchained. One thing I would highly recommend you do not do is when it comes to guitar licks, learn licks in like a musical context. Don't go like, all right, here's a pack of like all these different like licks you can do. Like, no, go find the lick that B.B. King played on X record and play it and learn that. What John Mayer played, what Stevie Ray played, what did Eddie Van Halen play? Like, find the thing that they're doing and then play it with the relevant music that they're playing it to. Don't just go and get a sheet of licks. That just does not help. It, like, you might think it does, but it just sounds like you're playing exercises and you're not really playing music, because the beauty of learning guitar licks and learning solos and things like that is learning to extract what they're doing in a musical context, because you want to see how they're approaching it on the record. Like, when they record these licks, the same way that we were just talking about how vocal melodies and all that stuff are really, really important to like learn from. When these guys are recording their guitar solos, that's the best one they've done, typically, in up until that point, you know, or it has been like chopped up between like multiple guitar solos and they made the best solo out of that through Pro Tools. But either way, it is the best version of what could be played or they could think of over the top of those chords. That's what you wanted to like learn from, You don't want to learn from like, you could play this lick and this lick and this lick and this lick, and you can do all these multiple things. It's like, no. It truly will make you sound like you're doing exercises, and if you know it deep down. Because when someone says, yo, take it away, and you start playing, and then it just sounds like you are like a cliche machine, because you are just like literally plugging in a million licks that you found from like Ultimate Guitar. I don't even know where you find these. I do not honestly know where people find these guitar licks. But it just sounds like you're like a cliche machine trying to pop out these licks, and they just don't sound good. They sound like desperation, and we don't want you to be like that. So when you're going in and you're trying to extract music, like you're trying to extract a solo, and you want to extract the licks out of it, immediately start thinking about the rhythms of what they're doing in the licks first. The same way we're talking about vocal melody rhythms, do the same thing with the guitar licks. That should be your first thing. It's the easiest thing that your ear will connect to, and it will be the easiest thing that you can translate to any position on the pentatonic and how you're going to do that stuff. And then if you want to get like super like nerdy and figure out the notes, then get the perfect notes correct. And then the step after that with those solos is you're going to like look at like, why is he playing those notes over those chords? And if you understand music theory, you'll start to be like, oh, wow. When the 4 chord happens, John Mayer plays the third of the 4 chord and it sounds wicked. Oh my God. When I play a 4 chord, I might play a third, things like that. So when improvising, you don't have to be a pro to do this. You could be beginner, and then you could just sound like a pro. And like, it's just so stupidly simple of a process to take. And it took me years to be like, oh, is that all I need to do? Like, that's literally all I needed to do. Why did someone not walk up to me and say, do this, Luan, and you will start crushing guitar solos? Instead, I used to do scales. I used to do exercises. I didn't have a lick book, but I don't know where people find these things, but they do find them. And lucky I don't know where to tell them, because I'm not going to tell you where to find them. Do not find those books. Do not find those books. And but I sounded like someone who was just regurgitating scales at like 200 plus BPM, and like that is not like, that's impressive for someone who's trying to play fast. They're like, oh wow, man, you played so fast. It's like, but you didn't connect with anyone. No one liked what you did. And look, you might be on the fence of like, well, I play for me and I do all those other things. Like, I would challenge you to have a look at like, do I really think that I'm like that selfish that I don't want to like be better? Because once you start being listenable, once you start being able to create really cool melodies, once you start being able to be creative and hear something in your head and then start articulating on the instrument, that's a huge unlock. And if you are trapped with muscle memory because you're like, because it's scary, and I'm telling you right now, this is scary. It's really, really easy to set a timer and get a metronome and do exercises. It is actually fundamentally one of the easiest things that you can do. It is boring, and it doesn't really get you where you need to go. But what is hard is challenging your ear. What is hard is looking and listening to great music and trying to figure it out. What is hard is trying to really understand music theory and being like, oh, I want to just get a bit better. But on the back end of hard is pretty much everything you ever want. And then if you can get through, the 5 to 10 hours of like painful music theory, and then like building your ear up to a level where it can at least recognize vocal rhythms, oh my God, you are just crushing it. So you could be like 5 to 10 hours away from having like the most creatively enriching experience on the guitar while improvising. And I mean, it goes for other instruments as well, but I mean, you can't really use the Cage system on other instruments, but the guitar is transposable everywhere, so that's why we love Cage. But all the other concepts, you can do that on any other instrument. If you're a piano player, trombone player, I don't really care. You can do the same things here. These are universal. They are tips for all. So I hope this helps you guys. This is what I wish someone told me when I first started improvising, and I really hope you guys crush it. We just want you guys to win out here, and hope you guys enjoying our improvisation course. And I would love to hear your feedback in the comments. And pretty much the next section of this course is me getting my nerd on. So if you want to get your nerd on and get like improvisation going and get as good as you can, the rest of the course is going to be a lot of fun. So I can't wait to see you guys in it. And if you guys are going to join our school, definitely come and hang out with us. All the content is free. You don't have to be a part of the community, but I do Q&As every month. So if you want to post videos of your playing in there, we've got a great community of people that will help you out. And then also every month, you can get direct feedback from me, and we have a great time. So I'll see you guys in the next video, and keep shredding.